And with that being said, we got one more to go, bud. We're going to preview a fight I just touched on. Sticking to the heavyweights and sticking in the UK, but switching over to boxing. We got Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. Very, very interesting heavyweight fight. I'm really excited for this one. Parker has been on a tear since his 2022 KO loss to Joe Joyce. He's won 6 in a row, and he continues to improve and only get better under trainer Andy Lee. And Wardley, only 4 months removed from his tremendous come-from-behind fight versus Justin Hooney, where he pulled it out of the fire. This fight, to me, seems like it could be very similar to that one. Seems like Parker has to be perfect all night, and Wardley has the eraser. I want to hear your thoughts. What can we expect? Parker versus Wardley.
Well, you set it up nice, bud. And, you know, the first thing is what you touched on. Wardley, there's a war in his past, a war. And there's casualties of war. There are. And it takes a while to heal from a war, to recover from a war, mentally, emotionally, physically. 4 months ago, Wardley took a lot of punishment. A lot. He was in a war, and it was kind of a one-sided war. He was taking everything until he gave in the 10th round, and he ended it because he does have that great eraser. But will he be impacted only 4 months later from that war in a negative way? Or will it be positive where he's not used up? He's a guy that he's fresh. He hasn't been in wars. For the most part, he's had his way so far in his career. Will he be, although he did have that one tough fight, but then he won the rematch quick in the first round. But will he be better? Will he be better served from what he learned? Because he's still a work in progress. This is a kid who had no amateur background. He was doing white-collar boxing. I mean, it's crazy. What an athlete. How big, how strong. What an athlete. And for him to... I've seen guys that are good athletes, they build their records up, okay, but then they're not quite... Michael Grant comes to mind. Michael Grant was tremendous. He was a great basketball player, or a good athlete, put it that way. And he got into boxing. He had really very little amateur background. I think he had a handful of amateur fights, maybe 10 at the most, 10 or 11, whatever. And then he went all the way. He beat Galata, a real top contender. He wound up getting knocked out by Lennox Lewis. But he went pretty damn far for a guy with very little amateur background. Wardley's trying to outdo that. He's got no amateur background. And he's trying to do something that, can be near impossible to do it, to get to the top. To get to the top where you can actually get to where you can win a world title. And in the heavyweights, it's a little different. Yeah, physicality and size matter more sometimes. It can make up for lack of technique to a certain extent. But sooner or later, you're going to pay. Sooner or later, you pay the piper. Sooner or later, the technique has to match up to, with your power and with everything else. But the one thing Wardley has shown that nobody's talking about, they know about the power. They know about what my son said, the great eraser, and the great heart. Wow. He's got great heart. But he's got a delivery system. He does have one technical thing. He's got a delivery system with that hydrogen bomb that pulls him out of the fire, and has pulled him out of the fire, and pulled him out of the fire against Honey, where he sets a trap, takes a little step back, and he counters you. He gets you to reach just a little bit, and he counters you with the right hand counter. He's got that down good. Can he do that? That's all this fight comes to me. Can he do that against Parker? Parker checks all the boxes. I mean, experience, resume, the fighters he's fought, the fighters he's beaten, on the stages that he's been on, everything. He can box. He can punch pretty damn good. He can box. He's tough. He's experienced. All of those things. He's supposed to be the favorite. Supposed to be a good favorite. He's supposed to outbox Wardley. If everything goes right, he picks his spots, he outboxes Wardley all night, takes him apart. But if Parker makes that one mistake where he reaches a little bit, and I've seen him reach with the right hand. We all make mistakes. I see him reach with the right hand to the body. Sometimes he loves to throw the 1-2 Parker, and it works for him. He knocked out Bacall in one round with the right hand. It'll work. But sometimes he can get a little bit, that old saying, over his skis, where he'll reach just a little bit, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes. You reach a little bit with this guy at the wrong time, and he can pull the switch on that delivery system and that right hand A-bomb. Boy, oh boy, that makes this interesting for me. I love Parker. I'm friends with Parker. I love Andy Lee. I'm friends with Andy Lee. And I think Wardley has a shot. Again, Parker should be winning most of the rounds. He should be. Until, I'll leave the rest kind of like they leave you in those TV series. Until next week. And you'll see the rest of it. But I think Wardley, has a shot. I would look at some props. I would look at props with the KO, and I think if Wardley wins, it'll be by KO. I'd look at props. I would look at under-overs. I think that from what I saw, the favorite, where it makes sense, where you have to lay some, would be for the over. I think that the underdog, where you get back money, would be for the under. That most people would see, the bookmakers would think it's going to go rounds. I'm not so sure.